I'm a little bit biased because I come from a PD family, but all these efforts to defund the police, and no one can pick up the other side of that message and just say you support police, and that doesn't mean you hate the idea of racial justice. But, you know, the guy who's doing it, putting himself on the line for all of us for quite some time, retired Lt Randy Sutton joins us right now, and he's the founder of the Wounded Blue. And Dan Block is with us also. Guys, this is quite amazing what's happening. I'm wondering what kind of backlash you will see, but Insurance King and Dan, you really have put yourself out there with this new car that's supporting the Wounded Blue. And, you know, in normal times you would think, oh my God, who would not like that? We're helping, you know, wounded cops. What's been the pushback so far?
You know, this actually came together on Monday. Our driver had a really good run last weekend, came in 12th place in the Xfinity race. And he called me on Monday and said he had an opportunity to be on one of two cars. And he called me back that afternoon and said it was going to be the number 53. And I had been calling Randy about a future sponsorship, Martinsville, that's coming out later in the year. And I said, you know, they offered me number 53. I think we should do it this weekend because my dad, his badge number was 53. And my dad actually was wounded in the line of duty. And he's got a permanent disability from that. And so this actually came up on Monday, and we decided we're going to go ahead and do something for the Wounded Blue to kind of give back and to honor my father in his 28 years. He had to retire like 5 years early because of the injury. Currently, he is a union negotiator for several different police unions in Illinois. So we were all for doing a paint scheme with the Wounded Blue this weekend. And then this just came out yesterday with the Goodyear news. And it just blows our mind. We haven't got any backlash yet. I don't think people really realize what's happening just yet. Because we didn't pre-press this, you know, let people know this is happening. This literally just came together in the last couple of days.
Well, listen, God bless you for that. Randy, it's hard to find, you know, advocates for the police, at least publicly these days. We are having NYPD Sgt Joe Imperatrice on a little later in the show. He's the founder of the Blue Lives Matter movement.
Right.
And they just launched a lawsuit against the city because they want to paint Blue Lives Matter. So there's a lot of stuff going on there. But how much does it mean to the morale of the folks that are out there still protecting us to know there's companies like Insurance King and guys like the Blocks who want to come up and step up and say they're proud to support the police?
Oh, it means the world. I mean, you know, police officers today feel under siege, and rightly so. I mean, they're under physical siege in places like Portland and Seattle and New York and other places, but they're under emotional siege as well. And post-traumatic stress was a huge issue even before all of this insanity. But what we're seeing now is we're seeing cops injured literally every single night. Two were taken to the hospital yesterday from the Portland riots. One was hit with a rock that was 9.5 pounds that was thrown by a quote protester unquote. And so of course we're seeing, you know, my organization helps injured and disabled officers. That's what we exist for. And we're seeing Johnny, we're seeing something we've never seen before. And that is just unbridled attacks on law enforcement and facing no consequences because of the horrendous leadership from cities. And I'm going to say, I got to tell you, de Blasio is one of the worst. He's not as bad as Ted Wheeler in Portland, but these leaders, quote unquote, in these cities are destroying policing, and they're doing so with little regard for the lives and safety of our men and women who are serving today.
First of all, you don't have to hold back at all. De Blasio is probably the worst human I've ever seen in political office, being right here on the ground in New York and knowing a lot of cops who are on the job. But, you know, when I saw it, I guess it was about a year ago when these thugs were throwing buckets of water at cops. And they were being instructed by command and leadership that they're not supposed to do anything back. They just stand there like idiots. and then it turned into other objects, and then it turned into bricks, and now they're just outright punching cops, trying to punch them in the face. And I've been saying it for a while, Randy. One of the most corrupt DA's offices in the entire country is right here in New York also, Cyrus Vance Jr. And these people know that they have a leftist apologist over there at the DA's office, so after they bash the cop off the head with a brick, they go down there and he dismisses it. He doesn't even bring them to justice, so why would it get any better for us?
No, you're absolutely right, and that's why the symbolism of what Dan is doing by putting the Wounded Blue and supporting law enforcement on this beautiful race car. And I got to tell you, Johnny, this is one bad-ass looking race car.
I saw it, man. I was just gonna go back to Dan and say, you know, who designed that car? Because the car looks hot. It looks really good.
Yeah, it's cool. It came together pretty well.
So let me ask you this: Are you rolling on good? Are you guys rolling on good years?
Yeah, that's the official tire of NASCAR, actually. You know, I brought Ed Bassmaster to a race last year. He actually kicked the Goodyear tires. The video is called Pish NASCAR. It's pretty funny. It's going viral right now again. It's got about 5 million views between Facebook and YouTube right now.
So every car that's running this weekend at the Dover International Speedway, including the Insurance King car, is running on Goodyear tires.
Yes, and there's always a Goodyear sticker above the front wheel well. Yes.
Wow. And did you guys, now, you know, I'm sure you saw all the hullabaloo that Goodyear put out, you know, some guidance to their employees where they basically said, you know, zero tolerance policy, and acceptable things are Black Lives Matter, transgender, gay, all that, fine. Non-acceptable things, Blue Lives Matter, All Lives Matter. So I wonder if you guys are going to get crossed up here and Goodyear try to come down and say, hey, that's against our corporate policy.
Yeah, you know, we're bringing extra stickers to the racetrack just in case they do ask us to remove them. We are doing that.
Really? So you can use an alternate tire?
Johnny, isn't that pathetic that a car like this that symbolizes something that is so important of supporting the men and women who are literally laying their lives down for their communities, now has to worry about, I'm going to call them exactly what they are, corporate cuckolds. That is exactly what they are. And instead of supporting the people who are actually making a difference, they're supporting a group that calls for the destruction of our entire criminal justice system and violence against law enforcement. How does a corporate mentality like that? I think that's a corporate infection. That's not good judgment. That's not good business. That's politics. That's throwing politics into a mix that it has no right to be there. And I'm telling you, Johnny, these men and women who are suffering right now, or being literally bombarded with incendiary devices, with rocks, with bottles of frozen water, with disgusting things thrown at them every single night. And where's the support for them? Not only,
you know what? I want to tell you a couple things that are going on here in New York. Can you guys? We got to take a quick commercial break. You guys hang out and do one more segment and talk about this stuff.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.